Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that is on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be listening via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you are watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. You can always watch all of our shows on YouTube at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe. You can comment along in the chat. Fred Records, Albert Lopez, Fred Villarreal already in there. What's going on, guys? Welcome into the bullpen. And of course, feel free to take your calls. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. As you heard in my Sports Center and basically all day long, we have an update on the Greg Popovich situation. And there's a lot to take from it, as Greg Popovich is back, at least out of the hospital, and starting the rehabilitation process after he had suffered what has been described as a mild stroke back on November 2nd. He is expected to make a full recovery, although we do not know what that means for his future. And earlier this afternoon on the Blitz, Jason and Joe were talking about what we got from this update from the Spurs when it broke earlier this afternoon.
Don't want to start the show on a down note, but we did get a medical update on Greg Popovich. Mild stroke is what the Spurs are reporting. Expected to make a full recovery.
That's good news.
Has already started the rehab process. The idea when you hear stroke, though, is scary, because you can think about so many different things. You know, all of us know somebody who had a stroke and died. All of us know somebody who had a stroke and, you know, one side of their body doesn't work, or their speech isn't the same. And, you know, and so we don't really know any details of Greg Popovich, although the term mild and he's already started the rehab process is interesting. Now, my wife works on a neuro floor, and, you know, so and I'm by no means any kind of expert, but I hear things, and so I ask questions.
Sure.
And I got more questions after asking questions. But the idea that they're expecting a full recovery, and they say when he returns to the sidelines, I look at those as all positives as being mild, because essentially it comes down to where in the part of the brain was the bleeding and your motor functions. And that's what is going to happen here with this rehab process. Even if it's mundane exercises, you're retraining the brain. So if you can, you know, in the mild part, I think is very encouraging on an outlook for Greg Popovich.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think first of all, thanks to the Spurs for putting that out. But now that Pop's out of the hospital and started the rehab process, maybe that's what they were waiting for. Obviously it is. But I think I don't know if it eases anybody's mind. Maybe that's the wrong word, but it does give an update on what happened in this serious. And you and I, we knew what was going on, but it wasn't our place to say anything.
Well, and I will say this, and I think the San Antonio media community, and I've seen some others on social media say something similar. You hear things, but they're in an unofficial capacity.
Right.
And when you're talking about somebody's health, and quite honestly, while we did hear stroke, but I've also heard other things. And so from people that you would consider reliable sources. So even though you kind of feel like you know and have known, the idea of reporting on it, it ain't 100%, man. You can't go with it.
Well, no, you can't. And again, it's Pop's health, which goes well beyond anything else that Greg Popovich does. So If he didn't want that out until a certain period of time, I think we need to respect that, and we did.
Yep.
And so and so I appreciate it. And you're right, everybody else in the media did too, because everybody else had somebody that knew somebody that did, and probably all reliable, but nobody came out and said anything. And so that's a good thing. And again, we just wish Greg Popovich a speedy recovery and hope to see him back on the sidelines.
And you look at the idea of the good news for Greg Popovich. This happened at the Frost Bank Center. So the idea that there was medical people there right away. And that's one of the things with the stroke that you know, depending on what's going on, you can start getting medicine right away, and that's going to go a long way in helping. We're going to learn a little bit more about strokes coming up at 2:45 with the neuro. I can't even say the word. The neuro department over at St. Luke's.
Neurological.
Yeah, there you go. Brittany Matters is going to join us and kind of give us some detail on what could be happening with Greg Popovich. She has not at all worked on Greg Popovich or seen his charts or anything like that. So, but just in general terms of a stroke, because it is one of those, you start seeing that, and then on social media, all the armchair doctors out there with their diagnosis, and man, there's a lot of us that have no idea about signs of stroke or what it actually means. So we'll learn a little bit.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to talking with the doc later. What about in this hour sometime, right?
Yeah, 2:45.
2:45.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to talking to her and get an update. But again, I mean, just, prayers for Greg, because, this goes well beyond anything we talk about every day.
Absolutely.
When it comes to sports. And I just hope he makes a full recovery. And I really hope that we see him back on the sidelines sooner rather than later.
Well, and that's it. And again, I am encouraged by the press release of a full recovery.
Yes.
And what that actually means. And again, we'll learn more about that at 2:45 when somebody that does this for a living sees that. What does that tell them?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the expert.
And maybe give us some idea of some of the symptoms, what to look for, just in general terms, what to look for if you're having a stroke or not. I don't know if I would know. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't.
Well, for example, today, little terms that we've all heard before, a TIA, right? You know what a TIA is? I mean, I think, it's when you get stroke-like symptoms, but that's apparently, and again, don't quote me on this, when your brain has a clot, you get stroke-like symptoms, but that clot somehow resolves itself. So you have the slurred speech or the numbness, you can't do anything, and then all of a sudden you're fine, and nothing will show up on a scan. They'll call that a mild stroke or a mini stroke or a TIA, but that's where the blood clot has resolved itself, because the body does interesting things. It's the bleed that becomes very interesting. And depending on where the bleed is at is affecting what functions you might lose. And so, when talking to Brittany earlier today, the fact that he's already started the rehab process and expected to make a full recovery, and they use the term mild, and she'll get more into this a little bit later, but apparently maybe in the frontal lobe and not much of a bleed that they were able to control pretty quickly.
Well, I think that's really good news. And not to make this about anything other than what it should be. When I first started working at Kens 5, I hadn't been there maybe 2-3 days doing the noon show, because at that time I did the morning and noon show. And I'm looking up at the prompter, and all of a sudden I can't talk. I can see the words. I know what they're supposed to be, but I couldn't talk. It wouldn't, my mouth wouldn't work. My brain, whatever. I thought I was having a stroke.
Yep.
And everybody else did too. So they cut to a commercial break. They got me the hell out of there. And I went to see a doctor, and what it was, I just wasn't used to the lights at that time. And it did something to my brain and eyesight and all of that stuff. But I get migraines from time to time. And when I get them, they're usually pretty bad. But I know it because I get like a little lightning bolt in my eye. And it's the weirdest damn thing. But I'm not trying to make that anything. But I want to know what the doc tells us about symptoms and what if you're feeling this, do something about it. Don't ignore it.
Well, and you look and you think about your experience, could have been maybe a TIA. My daughter,
Might have been,
when she was little, would have seizures, and TIA was something I remember them talking about it, but in a child, because she was 2 or 3. And of course, every time she had one, my nurse wife was at work and I was home alone with the kid, right? But the neurologist explained to us she's going to be fine. She's going to grow into it. Just a little part of the brain growing differently than the rest of it. And he's like, take a marching band. You got one drummer going the wrong way and the whole band is off. And that's what's going on in your kiddo's brain. She'll be fine. And she hasn't had an episode since, I don't know, I think she was 3 or 4.
Oh, that's good. Good.
But that stuff controllable. So yeah, no, the brain is wonderful and it's interesting at the same time.
Complicated.
And obviously, I think a lot of people, with the news now officially out about Greg Popovich having a stroke, a mild stroke, there will be a lot of people talking about it. And so we're going to learn a little bit more about it with an expert coming up at 2:45.
And you can catch that interview with that expert in our audio vault at sasportstar.com, powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. Nurse practitioner Brittany Matters joined the Blitz earlier today and shed some light on some stuff. And actually, we had Spurs general manager Brian Wright addressing the media today, and he gave an outlook on Greg Popovich. And I think the end of kind of how he opened his press conference was part of the part that I took away from a lot of this, and the fact that it makes it seem like Pop will be back at some point in the near future.
Going with
first and foremost, it's our thoughts, prayers are with Coach Pop and his family. It's a difficult time for everyone. I think, Coach Pop has been the leader of this organization for the last 3 decades, right? And we all have come across or know people that just have a different aura, different presence about them. And clearly he's one of those people. When we walk into the building each and every day, we feel that leadership, we feel that presence. And so not having him, there's clearly a void. And we miss him. At the same time, I'm extremely proud of the team, the team being the players, the staff, everybody that's bonded together through a difficult time. And it's exactly what Coach Pop would want us to do. And so, it's on all of us to play our part, to play our role, to continue to lean on each other, support each other, and be there for one another. And we look forward to the day that we can welcome him back. But, it takes a village, and we're all committed to that. But most importantly, we're committed to making sure that he has everything he needs and giving him the time and space to continue to recover. And we'll look forward to getting him back.
That we look forward to getting him back was the part of it where I heard like, okay, so Pop's on the recovery process. It may not even be this year, but it does sound like at some point they expect him to be back with the organization in some capacity, whether it's coaching or just as a part of the organization. So that was a good thing to hear. And then, of course, these audio cuts courtesy of Matt Roy of News 4, who was at the scene, and they asked a simple question: how is Pop doing?
He's doing well. He's doing well. I'm sure another question will come in. Well, what has he said? Well, he's going to ask, why are we turning the ball over so much? And that's all of you that know Coach Pop. That's exactly how he is. And you know him, he's tough and he's a fighter and he's going to work. So, we're all here for him. But he's doing okay.
That's good to hear. And I think it helps to put a lot of Spurs fans' minds at ease, because I know myself personally, I didn't have any inside information on what he might have been dealing with. So it led to speculation in my own mind of what could be causing him to miss time. And you know how dangerous it can be for people to be alone with their thoughts sometimes. And it's taken a lot for me to not throw my random speculations out on the air, but out of respect, I didn't want to. It was obvious that Pop, for him, his family, the Spurs family, the extended family, he did not want to have it public, whatever he was going through. And that's perfectly okay. On our YouTube channel, Catalina says recovery for strokes are typically positive if the stroke was caught early. And good news for Greg Popovich. From what we understand, he was at the facility, and that's why it was caught. He was at the facility. Somebody noticed something, and he was, treated almost immediately, it sounds like. So hopefully Pop can make a full return, and his future is his to decide from that point. Frank Valdez says GQ pledge up in the chat. Yeah, that's right. I decided to bust out the good stuff today. That's right. On our phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, if you want to comment on the situation. Martin did. Martin, what's going on? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledge.
How you doing, Pledge?
I'm good, man. How you doing, Martin?
Man, I was worried about Pop. I'm I'm a Rockets fan, but I have the utmost respect for Pop.
Same.
He is a good person, but only that, a good humanitarian. He cares about people generally, and I know some people give him flack about his, political views, but hey, this is America. It's still free. I hope after this year, but yeah, he's a good man, and my mom had a light stroke too, and she's doing fine, but I always go see her, and because I'm just that. My dad told me, go take care of your mom. If not, I'll scratch your eyes out at night when you're sleeping. So I love Pop. I love Pop. He's a good person. He cares about minorities and all that, and what's right and what's wrong. You have a good day, Pledge.
I appreciate it, Martin. Thank you for the phone call. Welcome to call back anytime. As can you, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. When we come back, the morning huddle, AJ Hoffman reacted to yesterday's college football playoff bracket. And there could be some potentially elimination games more so on our schedule as we come down the stretch. We'll hear from AJ Hoffman in the morning huddle coming up next and react right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. Plus, stay tuned. I've got tickets to go see Papa Roach in concert coming up, courtesy of Live Nation. And if you want your chance to win tickets to go see Papa Roach coming up out at the Frost Bank Center in March, stay tuned right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the morning huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Thursday on the morning huddle, how'd the Spurs look last night? And we preview Washington and Philly. Every Cowboy fan's dream. Party starts at 6.
It's the morning huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Hey, James Pledger. The NBA is finally back. Play Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. It's super simple to get started. First, download DraftKings Pick 6 app. Then, select 2 or more players, like Wemby and CP3, and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like points, rebounds, three-pointers, and more. And for all first-time Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use promo code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18. Plus, age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus award as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas, exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PEC to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PEC to 321-321. That's PEC to 321-321.
Again, Scent Beads story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. This holiday, trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's over $1,800 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Only at Verizon. Service plan required for Watch and Tab. Over $1,800 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Guys, Underdog is the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while you're watching sports. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You think Dak is going to have higher or lower yards than his stat coming up in this game? You can make money off that opinion at Underdog. Create entries with football, basketball, mix and match. You can do it all. They've even got college sports as well. I've been playing a lot of those college props. I think there is some money to be made in those deals. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at the Spurs. I'm going Wemby to go over on his rebounds. And guys, again, every sport is available on here. It's a blast, and it just makes the games more interesting. This season, they're running a special promo or bonus almost every single day. Profit boost, discounts, free picks. They're basically a sure thing. A player has to get higher than a half a point to get the win. All new users get a free pick. Download the app, sign up with the promo code Alamo, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash immediately. That's promo code Alamo. Must be 18 or older. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hearing that also reminded me to make sure, and I did earlier today, my DraftKings Pick 6, use promo code KTFM when you sign up, get an extra $50. Had to make sure my picks were in for tonight's NBA games. I got a couple of parlays going, so we'll see what happens. Speaking of which, college football, this is what the playoff is truly meant to be, and I am here for it. I've been here for it since the beginning. Can Georgia be left out? You know, Alabama, LSU, an elimination game last week, basically. Well, there's lots of elimination games coming up, and Georgia losing to Ole Miss hasn't technically eliminated them yet because they've got another big contest coming up that could put them right back in the thick of things. And I think all of this shuffling of who's going to be where, who's going to make this 12-team playoff, the fact that Boise State is holding on to left and right, winning, Ashton Genty carrying this team and giving them a chance to make this college football playoff, and how closely they played at Austin Stadium up in Oregon, the number one ranked team, almost beat them up there earlier this year. This is what college football is now. It's tough because schedules and such, and you know, these power conferences like Indiana haven't played anybody, so we're still waiting to kind of see what they are. Texas really haven't played anybody. Their best win, you can argue, is probably Vanderbilt. By the end of the year, it'll probably be Texas A&M. But it's not impressive by any stretch of the matter. Now, did anybody think Michigan was going to be this bad coming off a national title? No. But it's very interesting, and I love this college football playoff, and I love these late season rankings of where they're ranked and how they will be seated according to who's leading the conference at the time, projected conference title champ, and projected last teams in, last teams out. It kind of lets you know exactly where you are heading into it. And the way with the buys going to the top conference winners, top ranked conference winners, this is making for a very interesting scenario, and I love it. This morning on the Morning Huddle, AJ Hoffman talked about the new college football playoff bracket.
College football playoffs, top 25 came out last night. The updated rankings came out between the two Champions Classic games, Kansas, Michigan State, and Kentucky, Duke. We'll cover those a little bit later in the I say we. Rob and I will cover those later on in the show. You know, Rob really into college hoops, so I knew he'd be excited to be here and talk Duke and Kentucky. Right, Rob? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oregon remains number one in the college football playoff rankings. Ohio State is 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5. If you're doing the math there, that is 4 out of the 5 top teams in the rankings are from the Big Ten, not the SEC, which I find a little bit interesting. Other notable things is that Boise is sitting at number 13. BYU is up to number 6. So BYU currently is the 3 seed. Miami, who's at number 9, would be the 4 seed as the ACC champ. And Boise at 13 would end up probably being the 12 seed. So because remember the top the top 5 conference champions make it, and the top 4 are seeded 1 through 4, and then that last one is seeded wherever it fits. But right now, Boise on the outside, as BYU starting to get a little bit more respect, although I still think they are garbage and likely to lose. The Texas A&M Fighting Aggies sitting at 15 in the poll. And if the playoffs started today, Georgia on the outside, Texas A&M on the outside. There are currently 4 SEC schools, 4 Big Ten schools, 1 ACC, 1 Big 12, 1 G5, and Notre Dame. That's what your playoff would look like right now. The 4 SEC schools would be Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Alabama. So we'll see. It's still a lot to play, and Georgia, Tennessee play next week, and that is going to be a de facto playoff game. The loser leaves town. Retirement match. Like Jake the Snake Roberts and Rick the Model Martell.
And he's right. AJ's absolutely right. It turns into a de facto elimination game late in the season, but 2 lost teams still in this thing. And so just playing a tougher schedule and not being penalized for having brutal schedules. I like that fact. Think about it. Everybody's worried about Army because they're ranked so low of not getting a real fair shot at getting into this. If they beat Notre Dame, yes, they will, because Notre Dame is insanely highly ranked and in the college football playoff as we speak. If Army beats them, that is a great win for your resume to the voters, to the rankings, to allow them to crawl their way in there the same way that Notre Dame is, because Notre Dame also not part of conference, not guaranteed anything like the SEC, Big Ten, ACC. And it makes the end of this year, because also they get Navy at the end of the year, which will be ranked or has 1 loss, and it's going to make everything so compelling with these late season matchups, more so than they ever have been between a couple of teams with 2 losses or 1 losses, because they truly are for a chance to play for a national title, or at least give yourself that opportunity, where in years past where we only took the top 2 teams or the top 4 teams, more people have this advantage, and people still think like you can't leave Georgia out. Well, Georgia's a really good team. In a normal year, they would have already been eliminated with 2 losses. Now they still have a chance. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Remember, stay tuned. We got some Papa Roach tickets that I'm going to give away when they come to the Frost Bank Center, courtesy of Live Nation, coming up here in March. So if you want to win those tickets, be sure to keep it locked right here. The Blitz had a conversation with RJ Ochoa, and it's always fun talking with RJ Ochoa when the Cowboys season seemingly is spinning out of control, and seem to have a level head on today and talking about a bunch of the topics that have been at play, including their upcoming game against the Texans, which we'll talk about in the show. But that's all coming up right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey guys, it's AJ from the Morning Huddle. Between us, when you hit a certain age, things start to feel a little off, right? You're tired all the time, your energy's low, maybe even your drive isn't what it used to be. And a lot of that comes down to testosterone. And trust me, it can happen to the best of us. That's where Game Day Men's Health comes in. They know how we feel and they make it easy. Game Day Men's Health is over there on Bassey Road across from the quarry. Their office has a relaxed man cave vibe, and they've built a 3-step process. It's quick and designed just for us. First, get your T levels checked. Free testosterone test at their in-house lab. Then you meet with a licensed provider to create a customized plan. And finally, you'll get those fast weekly treatments. After a month, you're going to notice a difference. More energy, better mood, and a kick in your libido. Don't settle. Be the best version of yourself. Call Game Day Men's Health, 210-900-3691. That's 210-900-3691. Feel better, be better at Game Day.
When you've got a big job to do, never compromise. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Get the power, comfort, and quality you need by choosing Kubota rental equipment. Excavators, skid loaders, track loaders, RTVs, or mowers. At Ewald Kubota, we have the machine you need when you need it. Rent by the day, week, or month. We know you want the dependable equipment Kubota is known for, and we can even deliver it to you. From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, for over 75 years, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game, and it better be yours. It probably is. There's already 10 million people playing it. You better jump in. We're mid-season now, and this is the time to play because we know what to expect. We're fantasy players. We know if Jaden Daniels is going to go get it. We know if Dak Prescott's got it in him. We know if Pat Mahomes doesn't. That's why Prize Picks is so much fun. Your skill, your knowledge put to use, and there's free money. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with injury insurance so that your lineups stay in play even if your players get injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. They put their members first, too. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the app today and use code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. You know your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be low T. The answer is simple. Get checked at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Don't put it off. Not all TRT is the same. At Synergenics, you'll get a personally optimized TRT treatment plan from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy. You can also be evaluated for treatment with GLP-1 weight loss medication. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com. You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 at Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey guys, it's AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Guys, excited to tell you about my friends over at SA Card House. They're located right off of 281 at Bitters, and this is the best card house in all of San Antonio. This is a premier poker experience. I got used to playing online in Vegas, and then every once in a while I'd go out, I'd get in the casino and play cards. I'm so excited to be back in a place where I can get my hands on the cards, sit down at the table, feel the feel of the table, feel those chips. You gotta love it. This is a private social club. They're open 7 days a week, and they're open all hours of the night. So you get whatever hours you're working, you get off work, you want to go play some poker, great. You work in the mornings, you want to play in the afternoon, great, like me. It's a great time, great atmosphere, a clean place, which is a big deal for me, and they welcome every skill level. On top of that, they've got a bar and grill, Foster's Bar and Grill attached. You don't have to be a member to dine. 5-star chefs on hand with nightly specials. The food is incredible. Check them out, and check them out online, sacardhouse.com.
This is Jim Rome, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all for riding along with me tonight. Earlier today on the Blitz, RJ Ochoa, every Wednesday, ends up joining See, everybody wants my thoughts on Texans Cowboys. Don't worry, you're gonna get them coming up. But RJ was talking about it a little bit with the guys from the Blitz, including everything that seems to be going on, including some possible coaching rumors coming up.
The buffoonery of turning the ball over. Zeke Elliott still playing for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand the Cowboys. I just think they hate me.
There's I know you're both familiar with the catalog of The Office, the American version, and there's an episode where Pam is seeing Michael Scott, the character that Steve Carell plays, dating her mother, and she's very upset about this. Because she knows Michael to be a gross human being, somebody who takes pride in their feet, things like that. And she's telling him, "You need to stop dating my mother." And they reach a point of confrontation. And he says, "You know what? I'm going to date her even harder." And she says, what does that mean? And he says, "Oh, you know exactly what it means." And that is our relationship with the Dallas Cowboys. Stop being idiots. And they say, "Oh, we're going to be idiots harder. We're going to find a way." You think that you have experienced the lowest of lows? You think that we can't embarrass you even more? Check this out. The first possession after Zeke Elliott's fumble, we are team nepotism, baby. We're handing it right back to number 15.
And I know that drives a lot of people nuts. There are a lot of different coaches that say somebody makes a mistake, especially if they don't used to, give it to them. Again, you haven't lost confidence in them. Others, you can fumble and not see the ball the rest of the game, and you just go with that. I'm more curious your thoughts on the just god-awful play we saw from Cooper Rush. Now, mind you, in the first half of that game, Joe Reinagle sent on a group text that included James Pledger, "Cooper doesn't look all that bad."
He didn't in the first half. Well, at points in the first half.
Like pregame warm-up?
He was throwing the ball great.
Cooper Rush had 43 yards passing in 2024. That's a very difficult thing to do. He did this on 23 pass attempts. I mean, it's a very extraordinarily difficult thing to do. It's so extraordinarily difficult that it had not happened in 23 years. The last person, because we deserve this, that this happened to, was Andy Wright, who was quarterbacking the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles. And that is honestly the company that Cooper Rush is in. I think I would have liked to have thought, I should say, but Joe Reinagle exists, that most people learned their lesson, that, Cooper didn't carry the Cowboys in 2022 or anything like that, based on everything we've seen since then. But the proof was in the pudding. We talked about this last week. That 5-game run, when the Cowboys won 4 games and obviously lost to the Eagles, their defense allowed 15.8 points per game. They entered last week allowing 28.1. He did not have the same, cast of Avengers behind him where he just had to kind of live and drive the bus. And God bless Cooper Rush. I do think he tried his damnedest, and just isn't enough when you're not a qualified quarterback in the NFL. You can be a very good quarterback like Dak Prescott is, and very, poorly like he has this season, and watch the rest of this current Dallas Cowboys team combust around you.
Well, RJ, a lot of this, and I will say this, and Jason and I have talked about it. Mike McCarthy has to know, right? He's got a backup quarterback. His offensive line stinks. He's got no running game. As the play caller, don't you have to have some imagination to do something that actually works? And he doesn't.
The first game of the season last year when the Cowboys beat the Giants 40-0, and that was Mike McCarthy's first game as the play caller after Kellen Moore's departure, there was a moment where CeeDee Lamb got open on this cute little bubble screen of sorts. And it was so clear and it was so obvious that he had been schemed open. And those are the kinds of things that brilliant offensive play callers and designers in the NFL do all the time. They find ways to create advantages for their talented players. And Mike McCarthy did that. I mean, we saw it. There's proof, there's evidence, there's data. For some reason, he has regressed, turtled up. Maybe he just doesn't care, and he's just watching the grains of sand tick down this hourglass the way that all of us are. But right now, the Dallas Cowboys wide receivers are averaging the fewest amount of yards per separation across the entire NFL. Troy Aikman was right. Kevontae Turpin or whoever can get pissed off about it, but Troy knows ball. And obviously, it's all in the pudding as mentioned. So I think that there's an enormous amount of blame to go around. Certainly, you can put the bulk of it on McCarthy if you want, but the reality is he just doesn't have the horses. I mean, hey, Mike McCarthy, go make Cooper Rush and Jalen Tolbert into a prominent NFL connection on a week-to-week basis.
Doesn't seem that No, I'm kidding. It's just such a dumpster fire, RJ, and I think we all knew this was going to be a difficult year. I don't think any of us thought it was going to be as bad as it was. The Dak injury news makes it worse. All the other injuries certainly didn't help the defense, but I mean, it's just been a straight up dumpster fire, but there's still plenty of drama in Dallas. The Micah Parsons comments, which again, Micah, when you're winning games, saying stuff on your podcast, it kind of gets overlooked. When you're losing, it's different. How concerned are you that stuff like what happened on Sunday night and then his podcast Monday ends up affecting that locker room?
Well, in chronological order, I in the moment didn't find what Micah said to be targeted at Mike McCarthy. I understood what he explained to be his intent. I understood that in the moment. But my reaction was, this isn't wise. To your point, Jason, I mean, history is written by the winners, and all the losers get is pointed at and laughed at. And that's who you are right now. And you can complain about it all you want, but there are pros and cons associated with being a member of the Dallas Cowboys. And I obviously understand, and Micah should too, as a member of the media machine, that everybody's going to tee off on that Monday morning. And you can agree or not with whatever you want, Damian Woody's comments or things like that. But there is something incredibly ironic about, oh man, this is messed up. Check out my podcast later this afternoon where I'll be reacting to it. And so it's like, I feel hypocritical because I like that Micah has a podcast. The reality is the moment Micah walks away from the NFL, his attention magnet lowers completely. So I completely understand and encourage him and any Dallas Cowboys player, NFL player, whatever, to capitalize on the moment, to get as juice out of this as you can. But if your primary interest is winning, if you want to talk about not being a distraction, it is kind of silly to tease what's coming on Monday at 4 p.m. And this is all with Micah just being a player on a standard first-round rookie contract. When you hand him that $30 million, whatever it's going to be, per year contract, he's going to have even more sway, even more leverage, and become even more untouchable. So it's a Kobayashi Maru. I know you both know exactly what that is.
Yes. Little Star Trek reference.
Oh,
there.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very good.
Way to go,
Very good. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, Jason didn't know that, but I know that. I'm a big Star Trek fan, RJ. I like the old ones, not the new ones.
Of course.
Of course.
Great stuff from RJ Ochoa with the guys on the Blitz today. And, that one caught me off guard, too. I did not expect either of them to know what a Kobayashi Maru is. Although, I don't know if I could. I know Joe may know the term. Now I'm wondering if he knows what it actually is, which is an unwinnable situation. But the fact that Joe even knew, I was very impressed by that. He caught me because I didn't expect either of those guys to understand that. Full interview at sasportstar.com in the audio vault and soon on YouTube if you want to watch it there. When we come back, give you my thoughts on Texans Cowboys coming up. I see a lot of people in the comments wanting to know my take on what's going down, what's coming up. I'll give that to you. Plus, right now, you've been patient, so I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. But if you want to go see Papa Roach, I've got a pair of tickets for you to go see them in their Papa Roach and Rise Against the Rise of Roach tour with special guests under oath. They're playing March 22nd out at the Frost Bank Center. First person that can call in and tell me the big concert that they headlined here in San Antonio. They were an opener. It was a festival. Which festival was it? And who did they play with? Those tickets are yours if you can name exactly what I'm talking about. In 1999, there's a certain festival, and those that know and may have gone know exactly what I'm talking about. You yourself will be going to see Papa Roach with under oath and rise against out at the Frost Bank Center March 22nd. If you don't win your tickets now, you can always get them all week long right here in Extra Innings with Pledger, or you can buy them at livenation.com. Texans, Cowboys coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Howdy, Ags. Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, inviting you to watch all A&M games at the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road. Owned by Chip Ingram, class of 98, the Angry Elephant is known for their liberal cocktails at conservative prices and the best hot dog in Texas. Since 2012, the Angry Elephant's been the place to watch A&M, and this year is no different. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. The Angry Elephant. Like your car, love your Aggies. Gig 'em.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Jason Minix here from the Blitz for Underdog at Fantasy, the place to play if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching sports. And I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Think basketball, think football. You can mix, you can match across your other favorite sports and leagues and win money watching sports. And this season, Underdog will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Discounts, you'll get adjusted projections on certain player stats to give you a better shot at the win, and they're basically a sure thing with their free picks. A player just has to get higher than 0.5 for that stat pick to win. All new users get a free pick. So download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Promo code STAR. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Real estate is out of control. Between guaranteed offer programs and new laws about agent commissions, it's gotten so confusing. Know what's not confusing? Paying someone a low, flat fee to sell your house. And that's where Listing Spark comes in. Listing Spark is Texas' flat fee real estate company. Flat fee selling is sweeping the nation because it's faster and it keeps more money in your pocket. In fact, professional real estate investors have known about it for years. With Listing Spark, you don't have to pay hefty agent commissions, and you don't have to leave money on the table. If you have a house worth $400,000, you actually sell it for $400,000 without paying $24,000 in agent commissions. And get this, if you get started today with Listing Spark, you can list with a local brokerage for as low as $395. Contact Listing Spark today to find out how much your home is worth for free. See, it's simple. Call 800-MLS-LIST or go to listingspark.com. That's listingspark.com. Listing Spark. Thousands of Texan homeowners agree. Selling's better with a low flat fee.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. It's Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Take 120 nights to love it or your money back. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight. And you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore.
With curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
I'm AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6. Your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Congratulations to Josh, who knew the tour that I was talking about. 1999 Family Values Tour. Limp Bizkit and Korn. Papa Roach opened that tour right here in San Antonio, and I was there for it. It was awesome. Appreciate everybody for rolling through tonight. I will have tickets to give away to go see Papa Roach all week long, so if you don't win today, you'll have plenty of chances as the week rolls on. So appreciate everybody for rolling through there. Look, Texans Cowboys is going to be interesting in the terms of you've got a team that is figuring out ways to beat bad teams, even though they're letting them hang around in most of them in the Houston Texans, and a team that has just been playing bad, but a lot of that has to do with injury issues for them. And I don't want to say the team has quit on Mike McCarthy, but I don't think the message holds the same weight, knowing that his time is near an end, right? As soon as things start going south and you're a lame duck head coach, it's really hard to rein things back in and get a locker room to believe in you when everybody's got to look out for their own personal self-interest, especially with free agency coming up for some people. Some people may not be on this team at the end of the year, and it's hard to fight past that mental, and it's not even, I don't think at the forefront of their minds. I just think it's something in the back of their minds that they're dealing with that they may not even know they're dealing with. It may be more subliminal than anything. Like, he's not going to be here next year. He was lame duck coming in. Things have started to go downhill, and without even knowing it, you have kind of checked out on the message. The Texans still have kind of everything to play for, and they're getting Nico Collins back, which is a big thing for them in terms of CJ having his main weapon back. Nico Collins led the NFL in receiving yards 3 weeks after he got injured. Still. So he's still in the top 10. So he has a chance because of the rapport that they have and how they use him at the same time. They don't use other receivers the same way that they use Nico Collins. Nico Collins is used in the quick game a lot, screens, quick hitters, slants, things that can take the pressure off the offensive line that has been struggling very much to this point. And I think those are going to be some big contributions, especially if Joe Mixon can get back and start running the football after he was kind of shut down. The other thing is Cooper Rush, they talk about wanting to take some more deep shots. I don't know how accurate that is without Will Anderson. Jared Goff was under a tremendous amount of pressure, and Danielle Hunter ate. He ate Penei Sewell's lunch. That offensive line, which is vaunted as the best in the NFL, got cooked by the Texans defensive line that didn't have a defensive player of the year candidate in Will Anderson playing in that game. What's it going to do to a struggling offensive line that has Cooper Rush at quarterback? This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. We've got Cowboys Crosstalk coming up next right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com. We will see you tomorrow night. Check on your loved ones. You never know what they're going through.
San Antonio Sports Star.
This Friday night in the Alamo Dome, your UTSA Roadrunners take on rival North Texas. It's the UTSA Salute to Armed Forces and Veterans presented by USAA. Get your tickets now, and you can donate to the Tickets for Troops program to help deserving service members and veterans attend the game. It's UTSA versus North Texas this Friday night at 7.